Welcome to Div Tech 101, aka Black Mantle, where we discuss information technology, also known as IT. In today's episode, I want to talk about data privacy and IoT, what we call Internet of Things technology. Now, on today's episode, I want to just talk about how lazy that our society has become with the influx of IoT devices. I want you to take a moment to think about it. How many IoT devices do you have in your possession? IoT devices is going to be an Internet of Things that's going to be connected to the World Wide Web that transmit information to make our life easier. Whether you're looking at the small buttons from Amazon to reorder specific items, or you're looking at your latest Apple or Galaxy Watch to tell time, what IoT devices have done, it is supposedly has made society have the ability for the convenience of having many and different kinds of items to help make their life easier. Now, being a person who is very fluent in technology, understand technology, and have degrees in technology, I can tell you it's very interesting to be on both sides of the field because it is both a happy and scary time from my perspective. Being in the industry for as long as I've been, and then also having the additional education behind me and certifications behind me in the data privacy and law and security aspect, things are a little bit hectic for me when I think about IoT devices. Now, I bring today's episode up because what made me do this was I recently had gotten a toothbrush that is called a Hum, H-U-M. And what Hum does is it is an IoT toothbrush that connects to your mobile device and your home Wi-Fi network. And what it does is as you're brushing your teeth, it literally tells you what areas that you need to focus on through an app. As cool as that may be, and as helpful as that may be to many people, what people also fail to understand is that anything that you connect online, you basically give up your right to privacy, especially if you're a privacy advocate. Now, indeed, it's almost impossible to live in today's world living in the privacy aspect because everything is interconnected in some form or fashion. Now, let's take a look back at a couple things. Remember the transition that we made from cash to debit cards. Then look at the transition from the debit cards going where you had to slide them through the terminal to them having a chip and then where you can just tap it on the terminal now, such as your Square devices and stuff like that. What I'm getting at is any device that we have that's connected online within our residence is instantly sending data on and on and on. When you look at the typical home, you're probably going to have more than 20 devices. I can name a few of them for you. You have your water meter outside that's connected back to your utility provider so they can turn water on and off and measure your water without sending someone out to measure it. They can give you accurate readings where you can see that online in a graph format so you can utilize water less. Look at your electric meter. You have that where it has a MAC address, which is like a social security number to any device because no two devices have the same MAC address, just like people don't have the same social security number. A MAC address is the exact same thing that happens with that. So you have that on your light meter. Same rule applies. It can turn you off and on and able to pinpoint where electrical outages happen because they actually repeat that signal and broadcast that signal as like a blanket of Wi-Fi across your community and your street to a repeater, the repeater going back to the service provider. Now, you also may have your yard watering system that has a Wi-Fi meter on that. Then you may also have a pool. If some of you may have a pool, you may have a little shark out there that helps you read accurate readings of the chlorine in your water. That's 3. Then you have your Wi-Fi router in your house. Of course, you have to have that to have internet, right? So since you have that, that's going to be on number 4. And number 5, everybody has some type of either Fire Stick, Apple TV, or they may have a Google Mini or Nest. Those devices, each device that you add sends data to that specific company. So whatever number of devices you have is equal to the number of companies that you're given access to information within your home. So you have Amazon, where you're going to have your Amazon Fire Stick, Apple TV, Google, your Google Nest, your Apple Watches, AirPods. You have all kinds of devices that are constantly sending a signal over and over and over again. Now, this video is both scary and this video is also truth as well, because I look at these things because I'm in the technology field and I understand exactly what I'm getting into and how I should go about protecting myself and my family with these devices. Now, you have a decision whether you want to include yourself into a grid or you don't. Some people may go solar to get off the grid. Some people may live out in a rural area where they don't have internet access. Perfectly fine. That's when you enjoy the best time by not having technology around you. But when you look at where we are, it's like a grid, a giant grid, almost like the movie Tron. You're in an interconnected grid where it's almost impossible to interact with today's world when you have internet connected devices. For example, you can drive down the road, you can see a billboard that may be internet connected somehow and showing ads based on the cars that's coming by based on what they may be listening to on the rear radio. It's so many different things. But let's not forget about the toothbrush. So the toothbrush is cool. Love the toothbrush. It's very light, almost lighter than almost a piece of paper. It comes with 2 heads on it, 2 toothbrush bristle heads, a travel carrying case, and the colors that it came in was like a purple and like a green. And it comes with the base. So as soon as you power the base on and start charging the toothbrush, you will see the toothbrush. It will say hum on your Wi-Fi network for you to select and get the device connected to your Wi-Fi network. How cool is that, right? Now, you can't forget about the app. Another device, another application that you have to put on your iPhone or your Android phone in order to keep up with the application. So, now that you download the application, probably click through and accepted some terms and conditions that you probably didn't read. That's great, because who reads the terms and conditions, right? I know I do. I read those things like crazy because I want to know where my data is going. But the toothbrush is not what scared me, because everything is interconnected. What scares me is who has access to the dental records that your toothbrush transmits back to the app, because a toothbrush tells you what area of your mouth and tooth to focus on as you're brushing. That data is recorded on your mobile device or tablet. Now, you know that has to be updated on a constant basis. It's going to send and receive signals through your Wi-Fi network. So who's housing that data? Who does Hum use in order to house the data? One or probably 2 places. Amazon Web Services, Google Cloud or GCP, or Microsoft Azure. One of those 3, I'm willing to bet, data is stored somewhere with that on. Now, is someone particularly picking on you looking at your specific data? Probably not necessarily. But what company has access to the records? If I want to look at every person in America, in the world, that is brushing their teeth, I can tell you the time that they're brushing their teeth, what area of the mouth that they're focusing on, and how helpful would this be to dental providers? Is this free data so they can work with insurance companies? You have to think these ways because things can look shining and glistening all across the board, but where you have to be extremely careful is whom your information is shared with, because you do have some aspect of control. You can purchase the device if you want to. You don't have to purchase the device if you don't want to, and that's perfectly fine. But what I will do is basically state the obvious of what I don't like about the toothbrush, and that's it. Light a toothbrush and it turns on and vibrates on and off, fine. But look at it. It was a 3-stage process. You have your regular toothbrushes, then you have your oscillating toothbrushes or your vibrating toothbrushes that charge on the battery pack. Now, what's been added is a chip being added onto the toothbrush to connect it to your Wi-Fi network. And it's normally a 3-stage process. So with that in mind, that should give you some insight on what you could see with the Hum toothbrush itself. Now, I'm telling you this on the technology channel because I really want everybody to thoroughly understand what they're getting into who may not be technically savvy. And this is some very helpful information, people, because it shows us what kind of world that we're living in. We're living in a world where people will most definitely always 101,000% choose convenience over privacy. Hands down, no problem at all. I won't be surprised if devices like these, like drinking containers, if they have Wi-Fi chips in it for every time that you open the device, that data gets transmitted somewhere to know if you're drinking enough water or not. So, like, listen, and subscribe. Tech 101, aka Black Mantle. Look forward to talking with you soon.